All right, welcome back. Sciatic nerve pain is one of the most overdiagnosed of the common aches and pains, but that twinge might not be what you think it is. Today, we are joined by Derek Marcet of District Athletic Club and Personal Training to talk about more of the misconception and how to prevent this back pain. So, welcome again. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much for having me back. Everything's going great. Everything's going great.
You know, how can we prevent this, and what exactly is it?
So, sciatica is one of those really commonly thrown around words that people use just way too often. It has greater implications than just general pain, maybe in the glute or the leg. Sciatica is really just a symptom of a potentially greater issue.
Okay.
So if someone, your doctor or physical therapist tells you that you have a sciatica problem, then that usually means you have something like a slip disc, a herniation, spondylitis, spondylolisthesis. You know, there's a more severe issue happening
than just normal back pain.
Absolutely. So for you to throw that around and just it doesn't necessarily mean the same thing. So there's a way that you can check to find out, you know, not necessarily like shouldn't I go to the doctor, but like should I definitely go to the doctor. Okay. So as far as sciatica goes, it's a pretty simple test that most physicians will use, and it's called a straight leg test. So if you want, I can show you right now.
Of course, yeah.
Absolutely. Go ahead and lay down flat on your back.
All right.
So a straight leg test is really simple, and what it does is it shows the sciatic nerve just completely nice and long from the top of the low back here all the way down to the foot.
Okay.
And so what you would do to tell you if you had, you know, one of these greater disc problems, or, you know, if you're thinking maybe I shouldn't go to the doctor, I'll just tough it out. Well, more than likely, you know, you should definitely go anyway. But here's a way to convince yourself. So you can either do this on yourself, or you can have a friend or family member do it. What you want to do is keep the leg completely straight, so that way you have the knee locked out. What we're going to go is into a hip flexion. So we're going to place the hands just at the back of the foot here and on the top of the knee, and we're going to raise it up to about 30 degrees. Right here, if you can recreate that pain that you feel, that twinge maybe in the back of the leg or in the glute or even in the back, from the back of the knee down to the foot, then there is a really good chance that you have something going on that's more than just
I feel no pain right now.
Feel no pain? That's great. So you can go even further up. We can really test your flexibility here, find out what's going on. But we can get all the way up to about 70 degrees. And if there's still nothing going on here, there's a really good chance that you have, you know, you don't have a problem that you need to really worry about.
Oh, good.
I still recommend going to see the doctor anyway. But either way. So you can come on up real quick.
All right.
So another thing that you can do is a really simple stretch. So one of those pains that is very similar to that sciatic pain is called piriformis syndrome. And it's a muscle in your glute. It's really close to the sciatic nerve. In about 15% of the population, the nerve actually runs through this muscle. So those people are kind of predisposed to tightness or pain or what feels like an injury. And if you have, you know, a negative test and, you know, you're not being told that you have this back injury, this issue, you can really look into some good stretches that can really help you out with this. One of those stretches would be just sitting flat on your butt, and you would take the affected leg and you would take it and bring it right up over the top, okay? From here, you're gonna hug the leg, pull it all the way in, and sit up as high as you can. So you want to really lift those collarbones. You should feel a really tight stretch in your glute there.
Feels good.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
I'm not the most flexible person, so.
You look pretty flexible here, though.
I'm doing it, you know, getting through.
Yeah, you're not bad. You're not bad.
Not bad at all.
So in those situations, if you find that you fail a straight leg test, it's imperative that you go speak to a doctor. If you find that you're not having a problem with the straight leg test, but the pain continues to persist, still go see your doctor.
Great information. And if you want more information, and Derek, thank you so much for joining us. If you want information, you can always go to WTNH.com and pull down Good Morning Connecticut Weekend section, and we'll be right back in 2 minutes.